David, welcome to the show. What have you seen this week?
Thanks. Well, it's a good week to be in New York. The weather's been fantastic, and so's the price action been for Ethereum with the Shanghai upgrade, and really the success of the upgrade and the unstaking capabilities now that the platform has. I think people are very pleased. I know there was a fair amount of negative sentiment around what people may be selling. They had to stake for quite a while, and they wanted to sell, and that just hasn't. It's not what we've seen. Frankly, there are still some people underwater from staking. Some people say it's like $4 to $5 billion in value underwater from staking. So we haven't seen this sort of rush to monetize the staked ETH. And on the other hand, I think because it's been successful and there's been negative sentiment, we're seeing a nice price increase in ETH, and it broke through 2,000. And I really think we could see, 2,200, maybe a little more than that, in the coming days, maybe a week, as this sort of positivity around Ethereum goes. And I think this positivity will also go into altcoins. And I could see, the total market cap of, the ecosystem going up to maybe 1.4 trillion, which would be great because altcoins have really had a tough run of it lately.
Josh, welcome to the show. What are you looking at this week?
So, the big news from today, from my perspective, is this updated proposal from the SEC. You may recall a few months ago, the SEC had proposed an expansion of the definition of exchange, and it never mentioned crypto in that proposal, right? But, our industry being often conspiracy theorists, that doesn't mean we're always wrong. And certainly many of us provided responses talking about how this could affect the digital asset space, but even beyond, right? Everything from DeFi to other types of communications protocols, things like that. And what came back today was it was verification that in fact DeFi was very much, I believe, in the crosshairs, even though some refer to it as a Trojan horse. So what's really interesting, I think, is that to my mind, when I read it, it really looks like the SEC took the letters to heart, and found them persuasive. And really, this updated proposal explicitly talks about different types of exchanges and does talk about crypto. Just stepping back for a second, and so now, actually, before I step back, there is an open comment period now. So I think, reading through this updated proposal in detail and really thinking about how to respond to the targeted questions that it contains, I think it's really important.
Ron, what's been on your mind this week?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, David, and thanks for the time. Great to be here. Great working with you guys on a regular basis. Clearly one of the things we're still focused on is, and you're both aware of our global crypto industry principles that we've put forward, really trying to understand what's the high-level series of principles that market participants need to follow to be engaged in this space in a way that allows for compliance and allows for the ecosystem to evolve as well. So that's clearly a lot of the focus that we've got going on. Josh, earlier in the show, you had mentioned that there are several items around Treasury requests for comments. There's a FASB request for comment. A lot of the team and a lot of members in the WSBA are really, really focused on how do we give the proper input to those requests for comments in a way that shows the voice of industry and shows that there's a lot of work going on to happen in this space. And then finally, the big thing that I'll be focusing on, and I know it's a bit of a guilty pleasure, but as I was joking with you both offline earlier, I'll have the bowl of popcorn watching the House Financial Services Committee with Chair Gensler. I think this will be the first time in a long time, particularly in the wake of FTX and others, where he'll have very difficult questions to answer. And it really, in my mind, will be a peek into the thought processes at the chair level of the SEC. And I'm interested in seeing how he's going to respond to congressional questions.